Hey, welcome to how to pull out a freaking leaky heater core out of your 95 series Prado. You can see my other heater core has been leaking for quite a while, and I've sort of looped it off. It's a good thing you can do if yours is leaking, is that you can just loop this circuit off here and it will bypass the core. But today we're going to fix it because it's getting into winter, it's getting pretty cold, and it's actually kind of dangerous to drive around, with no demisters in the morning. So yeah, you'll need a new heater core, obviously, one that doesn't leak. I pulled this one out of a donor car and had it professionally pressure washed and pressure tested and everything. Haynes manual, always have a trusty Haynes manual. It's a basic tool, it's just sockets and screwdrivers and stuff. Most of this will come apart with a 10 and a 12 and a Phillips, basically. The first stage, while we're in the hood here, is just disconnect the grounds of your batteries so that the airbags are disarmed. Obviously, you don't want to be pulling apart the dash with the airbags arms. It could go pretty badly. Now we're in the cockpit. I think it's the first thing we want to do is actually remove the center console. That needs to come out. So the first thing to do is actually just remove all the shit that's in your center console. So I'll see you in a second. Right, so now that we've got this all cleared out, it's pretty gross in there actually, so it's a good excuse to clean it. You've just got 3 bolts here that hold this to the floor, so just whip those out. Alright, so the bolts are undone. You just need there's a little bit of Velcro that goes around your handbrake cover there that you can just undo, and if yours is rear heat like mine, which actually doesn't really work anymore because you need to disconnect any of the wires back here. It'll be obvious, just disconnect the wires and then lift the center console away and put that aside. Make sure that you keep all your bolts together. I'm just going to leave my bolts in the tray, I think, and just close the lid. Now that we've got that out of the way, the next job is to come over here. You just want to remove the transfer case knob. That just unscrews. On manual models, you also want to remove the gear shift knob as well. Put that aside, and then this actually just lifts out. And on automatic models, you just want to make sure that you disconnect the wiring harness here, lift it out, twist it to get it around twist it this way around to get it around this gear shifter. Well, it's not a gear shifter, is it? Automatic Prindle thing. And yeah, just pull it out. So I should just mention that something I like to do as I'm working on these is that, because we're going to be disconnecting a lot of wires and they all need to go back together correctly, so I just like to mark down the things I'm disconnecting. In this case it's the second start buttons from the center console. Just mark each end of the things I've disconnected, and then I just write them down here. And this way, every time we have something we disconnected, we'll know what order we disconnected them, what we disconnected, and so when we come back to put them together, we can go in reverse order and cross everything off. So I just pulled out the old coin tray and check out what's behind here. Look at this. Got mobility parking permit that expired in 2015, and now 37 disc 1 from what year? 2011. Hell yeah, how good. Alright, once you've got your coin tray out, you just need to remove these 2 plastic rivets that go in here, and then this trim cover thing will come out. Once you've done that, that's your center console out. The next job is probably to pull off the steering wheel. Alright, to remove the steering wheel, you need to take these plastic covers off either side of the wheel. Best way I've found to do that is just to poke a screwdriver here and pop them off. So now just remove this little Torx bolt here and the other side as well, and then once you've got that bolt loose, the front of this will come out. Should mention that these are little bolts that hold the airbag horn assembly in. They're actually held in by retaining pins, so you don't need to pull them all the way out. You can just leave them in there. That way you don't lose them. Alright, so the next job is to disconnect the airbag line, mark it in your book, disconnect the horn line, book. got that steering wheel off, you're going to need want to remove this nut here, which is a 19 mil. Now they've got that nut loose, you can just loosen it up, and you want to mark in some way the position of the steering wheel. So it's marked up now, and I've just got it on there loosely, because the next stage is you're going to want to grab the steering wheel and just jiggle it until it comes out, and you don't want to come off and then it hit you in the face. So just sitting in the driver's seat, the best way to do this is just to work your way around the steering wheel, grab each side of it and just jiggle it out, top and bottom, just all the way around. It should just eventually pop off. See, I've popped mine off here and it's now sitting loosely on the nut. So just do that. You can use a steering wheel puller. I've never needed to use them on this model, so should be fine. Just work your way around and it will come out. Sweet, so we've got the steering wheel off. I just like to zip tie any things I need together, you know, so I've taped up the little plugs that go in here, and tape that to there, and zip tied this nut to the steering wheel. So that way everything I need is where I need it to be when I need to put it back together. Alright, now that we've got the steering wheel off, it is time to start removing the dash. First bit we want to do is on either side we want to remove these kickboards and this little panel down here. So start by pulling out the screws from these scrivets. You can see I'm already missing a few. Over on these kickboards, these are just held in with tension, so the best way to do it is just to pull them away, and they'll just come out like that. And again, as I go, you know, keep all your stuff together. These kick panels obviously will go in together, so I like to tape them up so I have them together, and I'll just mark down on the inside of, you know, what they are. So left side kick panels. Put them as a side, somewhere safe, and yeah, do the other side. Alright, the next job is actually removing these trim panels from the A and B pillars. So just the first job is you need to pull this weather sealing away from the door. Once you've got that out of the way, then pull these plugs off. There'll be bolts under there. You can just undo those bolts, pull the handle off, and then this whole panel should unclip from some clips at the top here. As you pull these handles off, you can keep the bolts safe by just popping these little plugs back in. So just doing this one-handed here. Oh. There you go, and that will just stop the bolt from going anywhere. Great. So now that you've got the handle unbolted, it's literally just held in with one clip up here, so you can just pull that away. Boom. Oh, and another clip down there. Got my aftermarket stereo's little microphone that I need to get rid of, but yeah, easy as. Alright, so we've got these two pillar trims off, so now the next job is to get this lower dash panel off. First job is just to remove this bolt and that screw. Focus? Yeah, that screw. Then at this stage, this panel is just held in with clips, so you can just pull that out. See that I think this clip was pretty loose, so yeah, that just came out. Cool. So now we need to unplug all these wires here, as well as feed these cables out for the fuel door and the hatch. Yeah, so remember, I don't know what that's from, so just remember to as you go, just mark where the wires plug into, and then write down in your book so that you can reassemble it, hopefully. Okay, so to remove the bonnet and fuel levers, you're just going to want to come under here and just remove those two screws there, and you should be able to pull it through this panel. So the next job is around the other side, just removing the glove box and the glove box roof. Glove box is just held in with these, see if we can see them, just two screws down here by the hinges. Cool. And the glove box ceiling is just held in by 3 screws. There's one here, one there, one there. As you pull the glove box ceiling off, this is your passenger airbag harness, and you'll just need to disconnect that. And yeah, while we're under here, just remove the bolts retaining the passenger airbag to the crash bar. Alright, next you want to disconnect your radio and your AC controls. This panel's just clipped on, so just gently pull this off, and then I've got an aftermarket, everyone's will be different here, but just unscrew, disconnect everything. Make sure you write down what you've disconnected so you can put it back together again. Once you've removed your climate controls and radio, the next thing we probably want to do is remove the instrument cluster surround. Just held on with a couple screws, and one over there too, I think. Stand corrected, you need to pull this off to get to this little screw behind here. Then after that you can just remove these two screws here to pull the top of this off. Next, remove the instrument cluster itself. There's 4 bolts, 4 screws. Alright, and then just unplug the instrument cluster wires, making your usual notes. A good time to replace any of the light bulbs as well. Now you want to disconnect your mirror switch, which is up behind here, and you want to pull this air duct out of the way. Next is your inclinometer. You just want to remove that and disconnect it. Alright, and now we just need to remove the bolts holding the dashboard in, I think. So that's this one here, that one there. Obviously, if you haven't removed them already, the 2 bolts holding the airbag to the crash bar, and on the other side of the car we have 2 just behind the instrument cluster here, and I think one over there. I think that's it. Whoops, nearly forgot. You also need to remove this air duct here. Okay, now that your dash is unbolted, the next bit is to just lift it and pull it out. There are 4 pins along the top of the dash that hold it basically again in place against the firewall. You just want to lift and tug it sort of up and out. Helps to have a friend, because obviously, you know, the dash is quite long. Alright, it's the next day now. You can see we're back over at the hood, and that's because we're going to be working on removing the AC condenser and the heater core. I should have mentioned, but if you're going to be removing the heater core or the AC condenser, you've got to, it's actually the evaporator, isn't it? Yeah, AC evaporator. Condensers down here. If you're doing anything on the AC though, you need to have the AC system drained of its refrigerant, because it's under a lot of pressure, it's quite toxic, so get that professionally done before you start the job. You can actually see that my compressor is completely gone. The clutch was fucked, and that's the job for another day. So to get to the AC lines, we've got to remove the airbox here, and that will give us access to the lines which go through the firewall just down behind here. You also see our heater core lines, heater core hoses connected to the firewall here, and we want to pull those off as well. So I'll see you in a second. Alright, now the airbox is out of the way. If you're removing the evaporator, then you'll need to undo these 2 lines. You'll want to, as you undo these, you'll want to make sure that no dirt gets them into the lines. Be very bad for your AC system, so just give everything clean and wipe down before you start, and have some tape and rubber gloves handy just to pop over like a little condom at the end of these lines. There'll also be O-rings in here that you will need to renew. Talk to a Toyota dealership and they should be able to advise you about the parts numbers for those. If you're doing your heater core, you'll also want to disconnect these lines, but before you do that, drain your coolant system so that you don't spray coolant everywhere. Alright, back in the cabin now, with the dashboard off. We next want to remove the AC condenser. So there are just, I think, 4 bolts, 1, 2, another one sort of hidden away down there, 3 and 4. You want to remove those, and then obviously disconnect all the wires, write down what you've disconnected, and yeah. Alright, now that you've got your AC evaporator loosened, the next thing is you have to obviously undo these. I've thrown on a little fingers of some gloves over the top ends of them, and stuff the other side's full of the glove, just to stop dust and shit getting into them. And you have to poke this through the firewall. The best way I've found is just to fold this grommet and stick it through, and then pull it through from the other side. Right, and that's your AC evaporator out. You can see where this is the focus. This is the drain plug, and that's where it goes through the firewall into the engine bay. So when you put it back in, just make sure you poke your little drain hose through there, and you don't get that through there. Next, we need to move on to the heater core itself. First thing to do is remove these uprights. I don't know how you can see them. These uprights that hold the climate controls in the radio bay in place. You just want to unbolt them and then pull them just so that they're out of the way. You don't need to disconnect these wires or anything. And then you also want to loosen up the airbag controller as well, because that'll be in the way of the radio. So just loosen that up. I think it's 3 T30s, and then that'll lift out. You can just leave it over here, and then we'll move on to pulling out the heater unit. And
we need on this side, so it's
oh yeah, you might want to remove that vent. So yeah, remove that vent.
Okay.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts to the firewall. Once these have been disconnected, we'll see if we can remove it with the crash bar in place, but we might have to remove that too.
A few moments later.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's what's this bolted back onto?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's one back there.
All right, change of tack. Crash bar's coming out. And yeah, your heater core's out. Ta-da! You can see it's quite a bit later now. But yeah, she's all back together. Just do what you did taking it apart, but in reverse. Yeah, and I fired her up and she does work. Some tips: the crash bar, you don't need to remove totally. You can just unbolt either ends and then just lift it up, and you can get the heater out that way. And what other tips? I don't know, a lot of patience. It's a big job. I think it took about probably 10 to 12 hours altogether. I took a lot of breaks in between, but yeah, it's a big job. Not for the faint of heart, but yeah, she's back together. Good luck. And yeah, see you in the next one.